everyone, and welcome to the cultural capital of Russia, St. Petersburg. You are watching the 2013 SportAccord World Combat Games. We are here at the SKK Arena. The art that is on display is Greco-Roman wrestling. We have the world team versus Team Russia, and you would have to imagine that these men would love to follow in the footsteps of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to ever compete in Greco-Roman wrestling, Aleksandar Kyril. These guys will have a chance to display their art today. 3 two-minute rounds. The point, to get the pin or the fall. A very explosive martial art. There are no leg attacks. It is all upper body. A dynamic sport that showcases timing, athleticism, strength, determination, like many other things. I am John Ramdeen, and I will be guiding you through the next little while. The crowd here at the SKK Arena, very happy to witness Greco-Roman wrestling. Team Russia will face off with competitors from Azerbaijan, Poland, Serbia, as well as Belarus and Ukraine. At this event, we have the 2012 Olympic gold medalist in the 84-kilogram class, KHUGAEV. We also have the silver medalist at the 2012 Games in London, Rustam, TOTROV. So some quality Greco-Roman wrestling on display here at the SportAccord World Combat Games. The action about to get underway shortly. The point, competitors will try to gain control over their opponents through use of blocks, throws, and clinching techniques, with only the upper body utilized. The ultimate goal, to try to pin your opponent. Their shoulders to the mat. John Ramdeen alongside my good friend and broadcast partner, Mr. Robin Black. And Robin, what a dynamic sport Greco-Roman wrestling is.
Yeah, and how exciting is it we get to not only call it, but just be here in this cool room with this great international competition between these two teams. Really excited to be a part of this. We just came over from Muay Thai, and man, you can't get more different than coming from a Muay Thai ring and then seeing these fantastic world-class Greco-Roman wrestlers.
And we start the 55-kilogram division. Bekkhan, MANKIEV of Russia taking on Murad, BAZAROV of Azerbaijan.
Итак, прозвучал свисток рефери.
It is the Russian in the red.
Красным триком
Controlling the arm, beautiful duck under.
MANKIEV, синим триком Murad, BAZAROV.
The two athletes go out of bounds.
This is all technique, but such a huge element is explosiveness, power, athleticism. But really, this is a beauty of technique.
Serious athletes.
We're so gifted to be able to sit here and call this, but neither of us are experts in this sport. We're fans of this. We get the great opportunity to call all of these sports here at the SportAccord World Combat Games, and this is beautiful, beautiful to see.
занимается этим стилем борьбы у тренера Михаила Гамзина.
BAZAROV up 1 point thus far.
World team represented by 7 elite athletes and 7 of the top Russian Greco guys.
And it comes down to who wins each round.
You don't have to be intensely educated in Greco to see just how draining this is. When you put these two guys both exerting physically in the way that they are, you can see how demanding it is, how draining it is.
Russian MANKIEV trying to force the action. Two once again go out of bounds.
And the point will score for the world team. Each team member that wins out of the 7 matches, you're looking to win 4 or more so that your team can win. Each man looking for access sometimes to the other's back with an arm drag or duck under. Attacking different angles, up, high, down, trying to keep them guessing.
And there are a number of different points that are scored for takedowns, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
И последнее, что хотелось бы сказать по правилам. Если борец имеет преимущество в 7 или более баллов, поединок останавливается, и он объявляется победителем ввиду технического превосходства.
Right now, 2-1.
Wrestling in all its forms really is a reflection of the alpha male mentality. This is a man trying to physically dominate another man. And of course, one of the cool ingredients that makes Greco so special is how much they tax. All of this is taking place on the upper body, dragging these arms, trying to gain access to the back, and he does. And the Russian crowd likes it. Nice crowd out today, John.
The Russian ahead now, 3-2.
Gained access to the back, dragged him to the ground. At this level, these athletes will see and create doorways to each other's backs, doorways to the lower body. You can see the impact too. Shoulders making contact, shoulder to the head. One man is bleeding, the Russian bleeding from the neck. This is a much, much, much more intense type of combat than we can understand from our couches.
Both men enjoying a much-needed break.
So many different aspects to all of the martial arts here.
And Robin, for some of the people watching at home, we saw some of these athletes having their arms shaken out. What is the purpose of that?
They're filled with lactic acid. That level of exertion against each other at 95% is just going to fill your body with lactic acid. And you need to move that around in your blood. You need to just get everything flowing, loosen it up, soften it up. Your arms need to stay supple, but you're exerting so hard.
And it was the Russian MANKIEV who won that first round. He wins his second round. He wins it all. Breaking the action, the medical team taking a close look.
Still a little tear in his skin, whether that is, from the fingers. The nails are cut close. Everything's done to protect each other. But whether it's the edge of the nail, whether it's beard stubble, or just the impact of smashing your shoulder or your hair, the side of your ear, you tear each other up. It really, anyone that's even got to sample Greco in the gym, you know how demanding this sport really is. How quiet the crowd gets here. And the pressure pressure on the edge of the arm there, an arm drag. And you can see now why fitness is such a big element.
Aggressive attack.
Один балл прибавляет к своим 3 борец в красном трико за уход соперника с ковра.
The Russian ahead, 4-2.
So here he uses his head to get underneath the chin and straighten up the vertebrae of his opponent, and then ducks under. Oh, and reaches the back. 6-2 for Russia. You'll see these guys yank down on the head. What they're looking to do is have their man react hard to it. As they do, they may dive lower, reach around the back, join the hands behind the lower back. See, he's making it go up, down, changing his direction. And at some point, he'll overcompensate, and the Russian will attack.
7 весовых категорий, 7 встреч.
If you've got a friend, your wife, who's ever near you when you're watching this, just test that out. Ask them to pull down on the back of your head. See how you react. When you overreact and your head goes up, you'll notice that someone could get to your body, get to your back, get to your legs.
Последняя минута пошла.
Using his head again underneath the chin to straighten his man. Beautiful duck under.
These athletes just so explosive. MANKIEV 6-2 thus far.
How fascinating has been, John, to look and compare and contrast the different types of athletes. You get a soft martial art like Aikido, these relaxed, slow-moving, fluid men and women walking around, and then you get these guys, just little, compact, muscular, explosive, aggressive.
Just so different. MANKIEV a little off balance there. BAZAROV could not take advantage.
In a room full of different martial artists, so often the wrestlers are the alphas. Gets to the back. Oh, beautiful defense. Turns and meets him. Tears down on the head. Let's see if he'll yeah, see, when you release that, all of a sudden the head comes up a little higher, and now searching for the back. Russian crowd likes that.
We are being told that it is a cumulative scoring over the course of 2 rounds, and it will be the Russian MANKIEV who does get the victory here in St. Petersburg at the SKH Arena.
Just outworked him, really controlled the height and the distance, was able to access the back here. As he walked off, I don't know if you can see here, but look how vascular he is as his blood is pumping through his body. That is an incredibly exertive fighting art.
Lots of action still to come here at the SKH Arena. You're watching men's Greco-Roman wrestling. The Russian team versus the world.
The Russians have done so well here at the SportAccord World Combat Games. In Muay Thai, where we just came from there earlier, 3 or 4 gold medals on the day. Oh. 3 stadiums here filled with different martial artists competing in different sports. And the Russians have done fantastic.
2 3-minute rounds.
BAZAROV representing the world.
Edward BARSEGJAN from Russia.
Testing.
За команду России 60 килограммов
some of the represented here are some of the top Greco-Roman wrestlers in the world. And many of these guys have faced each other in competition before. They know each other. They've scouted each other.
Ibragim, BAZAROV from Russia, Edward BARSEGJAN from Poland. In the blue.
Чемпионата России. Это его лучший результат.
Dynamic movement.
Explosive.
Yeah. And that's another area that's so fascinating to see is, you know, they'll be seemingly comparatively relaxed at times, fishing, moving, and asking for reactions from your opponent. Other times they will explode at as close to 100% as any athlete ever does. You see the ebb and flow of the up and down movement of the trying to get your man to react, changing his height, getting him to react to you, but you also see the ebb and flow of the explosiveness, of the intensity. But even at its very lowest, the intensity in Greco-Roman and in most styles of wrestling is so high.
По спортивным титулам польский спортсмен опережает своего соперника. Но сейчас другая совершенно борьба. Не в личном первенстве,
One of them, even when you look at the environment, the Russian or the wrestling environment, couple of mats, lit, people watch. You go look at something like sumo, and it's all pageantry. And we've just seen all of these different comparisons throughout the week.
Looking to lift his opponent up. Oh! Look at that. A very explosive technique.
And he will look for it again.
LABAZANOV ahead 3-1.
Squashing the arm, trapping him. Wow, that was incredible. Just great work by the editors. Look at this, all the way up. Bam. Oh.
And that's why people love this.
Yeah. These subtleties, this looking to set something up, all this work inside here. The pure, oh, look at that net, he's got him. This Russian crowd is loving this.
7 seconds remaining in round number 2 of a scheduled 2.
And of course, the belly to back suplex was the most, the highlight. It just drags him up. Look at that, technique, but power. And he lands and searches for the back. Great reaction. Try to get that blood moving in the arms. But it's not just the arms that are engaged. Even in that clinch, the hips, the legs, the lower back. These are two men leaning against, at times, leaning against a wall and just exerting into that wall. And if you exert too much and that wall moves, you move with it. And that's the game that these men are trying to play. See, exert forward. Now, if you move out of the way, he reacts.
Robin, the Russians already ahead in this competition. They would love to go up 2-1, 2-0, excuse me.
They're ahead here in this second match. 7 Russians, 7 men representing the world.
Edward BARSEGJAN from Poland. We have a break in action. Bekkhan team taking a look at Bekkhan MANKIEV.
Maybe a shoulder issue. Yes. Oh, he may have dislocated his shoulder.
Look at what you would have to imagine is very common.
Yeah, and you also have to imagine it's very painful, but look at the stoic look on his face. If they put this man's shoulder back in, and he just steps up under this mat like nothing happened, I would be surprised by any other kind of athlete, but a high-level athlete like this. Oh, yes. See, I think shoulder injury, and you're right. You know that's common in this sport.
And unfortunately, looks like MANKIEV will not be able to continue. And it will be BARSEGJAN who gets the victory here.
And one apiece now. With that injury, the world team ties Russia for one win each. Talked about athleticism, explosiveness to go with these techniques. Extreme toughness is a huge attribute.
Still to come, in the 84-kilogram division, HRUSCHENKO of Russia, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist.
And the winner is BARSEGJAN from Poland. And the score between Russian team and war team is 1-1.
A battle now in the 66-kilogram division. Yury DENISOV, Aleksandar MAKSIMOVIC of Serbia.
Yury DENISOV, Russia.
66 kilos. Yury
DENISOV stepping onto the mat.
Его соперник в синем трико
MAKSIMOVIC in the blue.
Aleksandar MAKSIMOVIC, Serbia.
and Aleksandar MAKSIMOVIC, Serbia.
Despite the risk of injury like we saw in the last match, and despite how demanding this is, unlike a lot of other martial artists, these men can compete every weekend through much of their life. You can imagine how at home they are here on this mat.
Третья схватка матчевой встречи.
And of course, the Russians have something to prove as we are here in St. Petersburg.
And throughout these games, they have looked phenomenal. There are certain cultural stereotypes that people have, and one of them for the Russians, I believe, is that they're driven and hardworking and stern and tough and explosive. You know, and as stereotypes go, those are not insults to anybody. Those are ones that you like to hear about your own country. Gives that up.
DENISOV now having his head pulled down.
Front face lock. As he's pressuring that shoulder to the chin. You can see the straight line between his shoulder and his foot to the ground. Using leverage. If you watch, you can enjoy this by just watching different aspects of them at different times. Right now, if we watch their arms, obviously the arms are a huge point of engagement. Now he might attempt to duck under here, underneath this. See this? He's trying to go behind.
DENISOV forcing his head into the chin.
По правилам
MAKSIMOVIC
греко-римской борьбы борцу будет сделано
Just
предупреждение.
uses that head to change where he's positioning his opponent, keeping him upright.
In this team competition, it is 2 3-minute rounds.
For our less educated viewers, it's important to know, like you, we are not experts in this sport, but we appreciate it, we love it, and it's a gift for us to be here.
Получил борец в синем трико. Борец в красном
For the well-educated competitors,
продолжение борьбы в партере.
they may just turn the sound off and enjoy this, because people, the high level of this sport, they know it on an entirely different level than most of us can recognize it.
Will DENISOV
Trying to work underneath him, so maybe lift him from the there, trying to take him up. Earlier in this tournament, we saw an amazing belly-to-back suplex.
No points scored.
Trying to take him over.
One caution against MAKSIMOVIC. Action resumes here. The SKK Arena. Men's Greco-Roman wrestling.
Russia versus the world. Team concept, 7 wrestlers from Russia face 7 international wrestlers. And the team with 4 wins or more will win the contest. Both men doing the hard work here through 3 minutes.
Both men going back to their corners.
There's a test of will always taking place here, but it's also a test of extreme fitness. If you can fatigue your opponent, now there's no score. Who has been fatigued more through that work? Who can recover better? Because the man who's got a little more in there, it'll be easier to get his position to be able to accomplish the things he wants to accomplish standing. Getting their lungs filled with air.
Идет греко-римская борьба.
2
rounds
underway.
People who are fans of mixed combat sports and other combat sports around the world become familiar with the concept of weight cutting. And weight cutting really was pioneered by these wrestlers. That ability, they have to stay on a certain weight, but they want to have as dense a musculature as possible. And so they learn to be able to cut that weight, find protocols and techniques to be able to cut some weight, make weight, and regain it to compete. And so that has been used throughout all combat sports, and that's been a gift. Look at this, gets
1
to the
point.
back.
2 points, excuse me, for Denisov.
And now he'll look to lift. You spend a lifetime just trying not to be put on your back by a powerful man who's always trying to do it. Look at, as he goes for the throw, it allows access to the back, drags him down for 2 points. So Russia ahead.
Хотелось бы напомнить, что представители этого стиля борьбы из всех видов спортивных единоборств завоевали больше всех золотых медалей на Олимпийских играх.
Some chants from the crowd here at the SKK Arena. Men's Greco-Roman wrestling.
The Russians clearly have an appreciation for the art of wrestling, but also are cheering for their Russian team.
Looking to score again is Denisov.
See if we can get him up. Oh, reverse the position, but no points. Not a full, clean reversal. And now back to the hard work.
And that must be so satisfying to land one of those big takedowns.
Well, you see how much work it is to achieve that. From here, you're a few steps away. You've got to be able to reach, improve your position, get behind something, set up something. From here to there is not one step. It's a series of many steps. So you're right. It must be incredibly satisfying. Because they're not just steps. Each one is a fight. Each small improvement of position, each small new area of access is a fight.
Small little victories along the way until you get the big victory.
Yes, exactly. And that's what experts of the sport would talk about. They would talk about how to achieve each one of these little victories en route.
We're just thrilled to be calling the action here.
Well, we've been given an interesting assignment, and one that we've enjoyed so much, and that is to call a dozen martial arts. To come here to St. Petersburg with 1,800 athletes and call a dozen martial arts. And I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what kind of broadcaster you are, You cannot become an expert overnight in the beautiful art of Greco-Roman wrestling.
And it is the Russian, Yury Denisov, who earns the victory. The Russian team going up 2-1. 3 down, 4 to go.
I am loving the feeling inside this room. The Russian crowd is so excited. Here, look at the fight as he gets to the back. The go behind takes him down, scores. This is an enormous arena here at the SKK. It would be impossible to fill, but there's so many people in here scattered throughout it. It's very loud in this room.
Coming up in the 74-kilogram division, Aleksandar CHEKHIRKIN from Russia, Valery PALENSKI of Belarus. And there's the Russian once again,
Aleksandar CHEKHIRKIN,
sporting the red garb.
The Russian team ahead 2-1. The one loss coming by injury, and we hope he's all right.
Russia and Valery PALENSKI, Belarus. 74 kilos.
And it is the Russian CHEKHIRKIN who is aggressive. Only 15 seconds into the contest. PALENSKI not afraid.
Oh. The Russian makes the first statement. This is a big arena. You could put 13, 15,000 people in here. There's a couple thousand people in here, so it's not full, but it's incredibly loud. And it is just so cool to see that in Russia, you would go and spend your hard-earned money to come out and watch Greco-Roman wrestling. That is beautiful. A million options in St. Petersburg. A million things to do tonight. And all of these people decided that they wanted to cheer for Russia in the great art of Greco-Roman wrestling.
And it is CHEKHIRKIN who is up with 2 points. Less than a minute into the opening frame.
Watch their heads now. We were watching their arms earlier. Watch it. Oh, attempt throw. Watch the positioning of their heads as they head fight in here. They battle with the forehead and the chin. It works its way down to the shoulders. There you see. That's about placement. It's about standing your opponent up or getting him to react.
And Robin, at these 2013 SportAccord World Combat Games, as you mentioned, we have the opportunity to call a multitude of different martial arts. And one thing about the other arts is not all the competitors look the same. Body types, they were all different. However, you look at these competitors, for the most part, they're pretty similar in stature.
Yeah, the longer that a sport has been evolved, the more that people learn what is the right body type to really be superior. Not only learn it, it proves itself over and over again. You know, the Olympic volleyball team will be full of 6'11", very thin men. We know what basketball players all look like. You look at athletes that compete in gymnastics, and they're dense, and they have a certain body type. Actually, not that dissimilar to a wrestler, but there's a certain type of body that is perfect for the sport.
2 more points. CHEKHIRKIN. No points scored there. And just the athleticism is simply phenomenal.
Yeah, look at the movement here. We're from Canada, and in North America, the Greco-Roman wrestling, these other areas of wrestling are not giant spectator sports, but when you see this, you have to appreciate its beauty, you have to appreciate its ruggedness, its toughness, but also how beautiful the movement is. It's very, very cool to see how much the Russians treat this as a spectator sport. Look now the control of the head. Oh, beautiful to go under and search for the back. See the Russian reaching, trying to get 2 hands on one to drag that arm across.
3 minutes expired. And it is the Russian, Aleksandar CHEKHIRKIN, who is up 4-0.
If the Russians go up 3-1, they will be 1 win away from winning this tournament.
And coming up next, it is the Olympic gold medalist.
Wow.
CHEKHIRKIN.
Should it happen that one team does reach 4 before the end, I believe we're going to still do all of the matches, which, you know, these athletes work so hard and prepared so hard to come here. And even with a foregone conclusion, that doesn't remove the excitement of these matches. Now the Russian starts fast. So many elements. The element of making your other man work harder than you. That's a big one.
Trying to dig for control is CHEKHIRKIN.
As much as
PALENSKI having a hard time dealing with the speed and strength.
As much as we, oh, beautiful as he just accesses the back so expertly.
4 points. CHEKHIRKIN not satisfied with that.
No.
Going after it now.
Great defense to keep it at only 2 points scored. Watch just how quickly this is. The go behind and the takedown. Wow. Suggested more of a throw with the hip and modified it more.
В данном случае иметь преимущество 7 баллов это и вот этот балл как раз.
And yes, another point. And that will be it.
Wow, Russia will move ahead 3-1 now with the elite Olympian stepping up next. And drags him out, initiates, and throws him from the surface area. Look at the explosion. In America, this man might be an NFL running back. Here in Russia, he's an elite wrestler. The crowd recognizes who's walking out here immediately.
We have a matchup between Azerbaijan and the host country of Russia. Elvin MURSALIYEV taking on the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, CHEKHIRKIN.
What an honor to get to step in and face the gold medalist.
CHEKHIRKIN.
Now let's see what kind of clinic, if one, can CHEKHIRKIN do. MURSALIYEV, very elite in his own right.
KHUGAEVу 24 года. Рассвет в борьбе. 15 лет занимается борьбой тренер Урыманов.
You see a very different style here from CHEKHIRKIN. Look, he reaches for the arm drag. Now the shoulder under the chin. Straighten him up. Attack that elbow.
Живет и тренируется во Владикавказе.
It is MURSALIYEV who is seems to be initiating the attack.
Его соперник Элвин MURSALIYEV.
CHEKHIRKIN controlling the entry. He's going to seem to be looking kind of for inside control.
Также и новичок. Чемпион мира среди молодежи 2008 года. Чемпион Европы 2010 года среди взрослых.
It's a feeling out process in this combat sport, just like any other. Seeking to learn what your opponent will do, not only with his technique, but how's he today? Is he jumpy? Is he strong?
Must be so taxing, the starting, stopping, starting, stopping. Explosive movements the entire time.
These are athletes. Anyone who's ever got the opportunity to wrestle or compete at any kind of grappling art with guys, never mind this level, just elite level wrestlers, you feel their power right away. Their athleticism, their endless gas tank often.
One caution issued already for MURSALIYEV.
Let's see what CHEKHIRKIN can do from here. MURSALIYEV trying to flee. There. Oh! There's the first point. 2 points. Gets him up. Watch the placement of his shin here. Just underneath. Looks to the sky.
Как говорят, железный пал.
Straightening up MURSALIYEV. Where CHEKHIRKIN's head is. That head becomes another arm. Use it as another appendage. But these guys are so developed, the shoulders become pieces that work a lot. You know, there's little subtleties in all of these movements. They use their rib cage, they use all these parts of their body. They just understand how to put it into spots and control your other man with it. Crowd silent.
First round in the books. One more to go. It is the Russian ahead 2-0. We are here at the SKK Arena in St. Petersburg, Russia, for the 2013 SportAccord World Combat Games. Men's Greco-Roman wrestling. Team Russia versus the world.
Единоборств мы с вами увидели грэпплинг и сейчас олимпийский вид греко-римская борьба. В течение 2 последующих дней мы сможем
Let's see if CHEKHIRKIN feels like he has fatigued his opponent a little bit and turns up the pace a bit here.
кимоно, а также борьбу на поясах, панкратион, женскую борьбу.
Robin, I would have to imagine that the Russian would be very, very relaxed considering what he has accomplished in the past. Or is there added pressure?
Well, one thing you know for sure is when you've won a gold medal, this is today, as prestigious as this is, it is still not the heaviest pressure you've ever experienced. So for him, this is a great chance to just show the skills he's worked a lifetime on.
And in the building, one of the greatest of all time, Aleksandar Kyril, taking in the SportAccord World Combat Games, lending his support to the art that allowed him to travel the world.
Now again, if KHUGAEV can win this, and he is winning, the Russians will win the tournament.
MURSALIYEV's got to do something here. Got to get it going. Less than a minute and a half remaining in the matchup.
It's going to be hard to score a point now in the last minute against the Olympic gold medalist. It's like being up against a wall here. that.
Ten seconds, and the Russians will win the competition here. And that is it.
Hard work down to the wire.
Earns the victory, the Olympic gold medalist.
Shuts his opponent down, scores his points, and wins it for Russia.
And the winner is KHUGAEV, Russia.
Still 2 more matches to come. In the 96 and 120 kilogram division.
Я думаю, никто не удивляется тому, что здесь скромный счет был.
So we have a foregone conclusion. The Russians have won. We get to see very big, high-level wrestlers coming here. We've got a great crowd.
На ковер приглашается Rustam TOTROV, Россия.
Stepping onto the mat right now,
Arkadiy, Ukraine.
BLYUMIN of Ukraine taking on the Russian Rustam TOTROV of Russia, the silver medalist in London. BLYUMIN ready to make a statement here.
Possibility of a clean sweep is gone.
Because of injury.
Yes, injury, and he was ahead, but the Russian went down to a shoulder injury.
And a win is a win.
Yes, it is.
We are underway.
Each of the 4 individuals in these last contests will be fighting for pride. But every one of these matches, these are competitive people. These are competitive men. And they never want to lose. And every match matters to them. Wrestlers are a very unique breed.
Team competition. There's 2 rounds. Cumulative scoring.
Beautiful.
It is the Russian who will go ahead, 1 point.
That's where you saw that 0 to 60 explosiveness. Let's see what he can do. Another point. 2 points.
Rustam TOTROV, опытнейший спортсмен в команде России.
Wants to build on that.
Ему 29 лет. Тренируется 15 лет у тренера Воробьева, у Руматова.
See, just puts pressure on the elbow. As he slid down, wasn't able to get under the shoulder, used the elbow. Look at that. Arches to the sky.
The Russians were protesting. The Ukraine team protests.
Arkadiy BLYUMIN
Got some heated
из
coaches.
Украины. Является чемпионом мира среди молодежи.
So we take a look.
92-го года рождения.
Go up on the replay. You see the crowd looking at the replay screen and the coaches.
Просмотр видеозаписи.
See. Let's stand.
Still 5-0.
Stands. That does give the athletes a bit of a break now, so they can, you know, fully recover during that protest time.
TOTROV ahead 6-0.
And he gets to the back. Go.
And there he will get the point and the victory.
Beautifully done.
Blanking the Ukrainian.
Just did the hard work, stayed with it, and put us back on the map. Big, powerful Russian. Blanks his opponent. We have one more. Look at this, just coming up, circles to the back, drags. Oh, that was beautiful. Moves, changes direction. He's 2 steps ahead.
Sergey, ANDRUSIK и Kyril, HRUSCHENKO, Belarus, приглашаются на ковер.
Coming up, Kyril, HRUSCHENKO of Belarus takes on Sergey, ANDRUSIK of Russia.
120 kilograms or less at the time of their weigh-in.
Monstrous men.
This is the mascots. Yeah, the size of these men. I don't think your TV screen is going to do you justice here. Because from the desk at the side of the mats, these are enormous athletes.
Massive. We are here at the SKH Arena in St. Petersburg, Russia.
They weighed in under 264 pounds or 120 kilos, but they look much bigger than that in person. The size of these legs. This will be the last match. The Russians have won with a fantastic performance here. Sergey wants the win so that he can go out and celebrate with the rest of the Russian team.
HRUSCHENKO trying to be the bully.
It would not be possible for me to overstate how huge these men look from our desk.
Красном трико борется Андрусик Sergey.
At this size, the pace may be a little slower. The power will be huge.
Ученик Кузнецова.
Just the stress on their joints would be unbelievable.
The bodies of all of these wrestlers just build up so much over their lifetime of dedication to this art. But having said that, they're facing someone just as strong, just as powerful, just as good as them. And it does. It wears on all their bodies. Knees, elbows, lower backs, shoulders, of course. We saw man Ibragim go down today to shoulder injury. The lone victory for the world team, but a good victory nonetheless.
Point yet to be scored here. Our 7th and final matchup. Sergey ANDRUSIK from Russia. In the red. Kyril HRUSCHENKO in the blue.
And we talked about how taxing this sport is. And with this size, 480 odd pounds, 240 kilograms of wrestlers are standing in here.
Action resumes.
ANDRUSIK's so big, so powerful, and he's controlling with his shoulder. HRUSCHENKO still fighting on the inside, trying to get under the arm.
45 seconds remaining. And our first of a scheduled 2 rounds.
Big Russian tries a lower approach, tries to get underneath the chin a little here. That bent over stance here, that helps, at least it instinctively feels like it helps you get a little more air back into your lungs.
Starting on all fours, HRUSCHENKO. ANDRUSIK will try his best to lift him off the mat.
We've seen a number of different techniques used throughout the day, from this, reaching through and joining your hands, to digging your shin underneath, using different styles of leverage. We've seen a beautiful suplex today. Look at the power and technique.
One more round to go.
Imagine how excruciatingly exhausting that is.
A short break in between rounds. Each man issued a caution. Three minutes left to go. No points scored.
Bragging rights in the last match on the line here. A chance to show your dominance. ANDRUSIK seems to be the initiator here. He's the instigator. But just hasn't been able to create an opening yet. There, he's underneath. A deep grip underneath. May try to work from here. Maybe they go behind. Lift and yes.
He will get 2 points.
And that is a big lead here, since he's been the one controlling the action. HRUSCHENKO will have to take some risks here. And of course, when he does take those risks, ANDRUSIK will look to take advantage.
Oh, and he's...
Мы, дикторы, извиняемся перед, если так получилось, перед олимпийским чемпионом Хайкулаевым. Дело в том, что у нас кнопочная здесь работа. И, по-видимому, кнопка запала, и буква Х пропала. На самом деле, естественно, Хайкулаев. Весь мир знает Хайкулаева. Приветствуем его.
Russia ahead. 2 points in this matchup.
And they've controlled the tournament.
5-1 thus far.
Looking to make it 6-1. The lone loss coming by way of injury. The Russians have been dominant on the mats today.
And dominant at these games.
Yeah. We talked about it earlier. It's just so great to see how much combat sports are just a part of day-to-day culture here in Russia. And when this is over, with the Russians winning, you'll hear a good pop in this crowd today. People from all walks of life.
Но и вольного стиля, им интересно посмотреть. И мы приветствуем присутствующего на наших соревнованиях почетного гостя, двукратного олимпийского чемпиона, шестикратного чемпиона мира,
almost the clean sweep. A lone blemish coming by injury.
A hard-fought win. That was a lot of men in there, a lot of weight. That's a lot of wrestler. And they announce Russia wins the tournament.
No surprises. And there you have it. The Russians dominating here at the SKK Arena in men's Greco-Roman wrestling.
Great display of strength, a great display of skill, and the beautiful art of wrestling, and Russia takes the day.
KHUGAEV, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, getting a victory, as well as his teammates. That concludes our coverage of men's Greco-Roman wrestling from the SKK Arena.
You are dead.